In the shallow inlet Sandy Point, Australia, on December 25, 2017, a snorkeler stumbled upon skeletal remains that held no identity. The local authorities were promptly notified, and the case was handed over to the Victorian Institute for Forensic Medicine. As more information emerged, it was revealed that the remains belonged to a male between the ages of 21 and 37, standing at a height of 170 centimeters. Radiocarbon dating placed the time of death between 1666 and 1942, further deepening the mystery. Despite searching DNA databases, no matches were found, leading to the pursuit of forensic genetic genealogy. This breakthrough provided tantalizing clues about the path of the unidentified individual known as Sandy Point John Doe. The question arises, how does one confront a history concealed beneath the waves, especially during the festive season? How did this enigma span across decades? Sandy Point, located in South Gippsland, Victoria, near Wilson's Promontory, is a picturesque township that offers a tranquil summer getaway, particularly for families with young children. With its absence of towering buildings and commercial developments, it transports visitors to a more peaceful era, providing an ideal opportunity for rejuvenation, reconnection, and relaxation. In the 2016 census, the population of Sandy Point was approximately 270, but during the holiday season, it swells to thousands. The crime rate is nearly non-existent, making it a safe haven for travelers. On Christmas Day in 2017, a snorkeler made a startling discovery of skeletal remains at Shallow Inlet, Sandy Point, Victoria. Little did they know that this finding would unravel a 95-year-old mystery. The remains, along with any accompanying tissue, clothing, or personal effects, were found on the ocean floor. With no contextual information or clues to the individual's identity, the Victoria Police reported the death to the coroner, leading to the transfer of the remains to the Victorian Institute for Forensic Medicine, also known as VIFM. As the team of experts at VIFM conducted scientific tests, they gained valuable insights into the characteristics of the unknown person. The forensic anthropologist concluded that the skeletal remains belonged to a Caucasian male, estimated to be between the ages of 21 and 37, with a height of approximately 170 centimeters. Through an examination of dental restorations, the forensic odontologist suggested the intriguing possibility of the individual having an overseas background with historical significance. To address multiple unsolved cold cases in Australia, the Victorian Institute for Forensic Medicine initiated a pilot program in collaboration with Ofram, focusing on forensic genetic genealogy. Ofram employs an integrated approach that combines laboratory science, software development, and streamlined processes to enhance the infrastructure of the justice system. Their technology assists law enforcement agencies at various levels, both domestically and internationally, enabling breakthroughs in forensic DNA analysis for previously unresolved cases. Notably, Ofram handles all aspects of casework internally, emphasizing control and efficiency. The forensic evidence was sent to Ofram's laboratory in the Woodlands, Texas, where it was revealed that the remains belonged to Christopher Luke Moore. Christopher, a World War I veteran and farmer from the Gippsland region, tragically drowned in Waratah Bay in 1928. Following his drowning, a farmer from Sandy Point made a surprising discovery at Shallow Inlet, leading to the identification of the mandible as Christopher's through unique dental work. This confirmation was officially recognized during a subsequent coronial inquest on January 24, 1929. In 2017, additional remains were discovered and were conclusively identified as belonging to Moore, thanks to the verification provided by a grandniece who confirmed his drowning in 1928 and the burial of his mandible by the family. Australian investigators from the VIFM and other police forces, under the guidance of Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick, played a crucial role in working on this case. Following the engagement of Ofram for DNA sequencing from the remains, a genealogical study was carried out, leading to the positive identification of Sandy Point John Doe as Christopher Luke Moore, a 29-year-old local farmer and World War veteran who tragically drowned in 1928. Despite the relentless efforts of his grieving father, Cornelius Ignatius Moore, the body was never found. While visiting Waratah Bay with his parents, Cornelius and Charlotte, brother, Francis, wife, Elizabeth, and his daughter, Mary, Mr. Moore disappeared beneath the waves, leaving a lasting void. Remarkably, a fortnight later, on January 15, 1929, a lower jawbone, confirmed through dental records to be Mr. Moore's, washed ashore about 6 kilometers from the drowning site. The remains were laid to rest in the Moore family plot at Minion. Over time, Cornelius and Charlotte were laid to rest beside their son in 1939 and 1946, respectively, followed by his wife, Elizabeth Agnes, in 1985. More recently, his daughter was also buried alongside them. Kathy Hogan, Christopher Moore's great-niece, expressed her gratitude for the remarkable work carried out by a Victorian Institute of Forensic Medicine team in solving the mystery and providing closure for the family during an interview on Gippsland ABC radio. Initially unaware of the tragic story, Miss Hogan learned from her mother that Christopher had gone missing and the family was left in uncertainty. With the findings of the investigation, they now have a comprehensive understanding of the events. The forensic team's research not only unraveled the mystery, but also provided the family with newspaper articles and the coroner's report from 1929, offering further insights. Miss Hogan described the emotional yet captivating experience of uncovering the full story. After 6 years of investigations, the family can finally lay Mr. Moore to rest. Mr. Moore has been reunited with his family, along with the jawbone that was originally discovered in 1929. Fiona V., a member of the Victorian Institute of Forensic Medicine's team, shared the extensive efforts made to unravel this century-old mystery. She emphasized the initial difficulties faced in identifying the individual based on skeletal remains in 2017. However, by utilizing DNA analysis and odontology, they were able to piece together significant details about Mr. Moore's background, such as his Northern European ancestry, probable blue eyes, dark hair, and distinct dental characteristics. This information played a vital role in narrowing down the historical research and identifying the person who had drowned and was found in the bay. As we conclude this captivating journey into the enigma surrounding Sandy Point John Doe, we leave you with 2 lingering questions. Do you believe that forensic genetic genealogy is a groundbreaking advancement in solving cold cases? And what are your thoughts on the collaborative efforts that led to the rediscovery of Christopher Luke Moore's identity?
On the morning of October 5, 2012, the weather in Westminster, Colorado was a mix of snow and clouds. This was the day that 10-year-old Jessica Ridgway, who lived with her mother Sarah Ridgway, her aunt, and her grandmother, went missing. Jessica was a 5th grade student at Witt Elementary, but on that particular morning, she was running late and missed walking to school with her friends. Instead, she decided to take a short walk to school on her own, but she never arrived. The question remained, what happened to Jessica? Did she get lost in the snow, or was there a more disturbing reason behind her disappearance? Westminster, located in both Adams and Jefferson counties, is a city in Colorado. As of 2020, it had a population of approximately 116,000, making it the 8th largest city in the state. The city is home to prominent companies such as the Western Fuels Association, Ball, and Digital Globe. Westminster also boasts dedicated land areas for recreational activities, including Stanley Lake Regional Park, Westminster Hills, and numerous neighborhood parks, community parks, and golf courses. In terms of crime, Westminster is considered a relatively safe community, with a crime rate of 3.96 per thousand residents for violent crimes and 45 for property crimes. This is the city where Jessica Ridgway lived. Born on January 23, 2002, in Westminster, Colorado, Jessica was the daughter of Sarah Ridgway and Jeremiah Bryant. Due to her parents' separation, she found herself caught in a custody battle that involved both Colorado and Missouri. Despite these challenges, Jessica remained grounded in her routines and her Colorado home, where she lived with her mother, grandmother, and aunt. Her favorite color was purple, and her distinctive purple-rimmed glasses symbolized her love for the color. As Jessica grew older, she displayed an unexpected level of responsibility, taking care of her dog and fulfilling her chores without reminders. She had a deep bond with her dog, even capturing their moments together in home videos as she attempted to teach it tricks. Her independence and maturity often made her seem older than her actual age of 10 years old. Jessica demonstrated exceptional academic abilities and had a particular passion for mathematics, which her teachers recognized. In addition to her academic achievements, she actively participated in the Pee Wee cheerleading squad. The squad occasionally practiced at Stanley High School, which was conveniently located nearby. Jessica possessed a natural talent for brightening the lives of those around her, often seen with her infectious smile that revealed a charming little gap between her front teeth. However, fate had different plans for her. On October 5, 2012, Jessica's day began like any other. She followed her usual morning routine, enjoying a granola bar and some TV time despite the snowy weather. Earlier that morning, she had arranged to walk to school with her friend, so she called her friend's dad. Jessica's mother, Sarah, had just finished her night shift and returned home at 7:30 a.m. to assist her daughter in getting ready for school. Due to the snowy conditions, Jessica dressed in blue jeans, a black jacket with pink lining, and black boots adorned with small fluffy palms. She also wore her distinctive purple prescription eyeglasses and carried a black and pink backpack featuring a character from the popular show Victorious on Disney Channel. Jessica headed towards Chelsea Park to meet her friends for their usual walk to school. Unfortunately, she arrived late, and her friend's father had already driven her friend to school because they were running behind schedule, waiting for Jessica. Despite being familiar with the route and feeling secure in her neighborhood, Jessica decided to walk to school alone. Little did she know what awaited her. When roll call was taken at school that day, Jessica Ridgway was noticeably absent. Concerned, her fifth-grade teacher contacted Jessica's mother, Sarah Ridgway, to inform her of the situation. Unfortunately, Sarah missed the call as she was still asleep after her late-night shift. It wasn't until Sarah woke up at 4:00 p.m. that she realized Jessica had not returned home. After checking her voicemails, she was concerned to discover a call from the police at 10:00 a.m., informing her that Jessica hadn't made it to school. It seemed that Jessica's teacher had contacted the police after being unable to reach Jessica's mother. Sarah sensed that something was amiss as Jessica never skipped school. Alarmed, Sarah immediately called the police back to report Jessica as missing. Restless and worried, she hurried to a neighbor's house to inquire if they had seen Jessica. Subsequently, she went to the school in search of her daughter. The sinking feeling in Sarah's gut grew stronger as she feared that Jessica might be in danger. But she could determine whether it was an accident or something more sinister. She tirelessly searched the area that night, but Jessica was nowhere to be found. The following day, October 6, a massive search operation was launched involving teams of police officers, concerned family members, and community volunteers. They meticulously combed through every inch of Jessica's usual fifth-of-a-mile route to school, leaving no stone unturned. Search dogs and thermal sensors were deployed to cover the surrounding areas of her neighborhood and the paths she typically took. Regrettably, the search yielded no results, leading to the issuance of an Amber Alert featuring Jessica's photo and description. Descriptive missing posters were circulated, outlining Jessica's features. In an effort to engage the public in the search, both the police and the community adorned the school and Jessica's route with purple ribbons. Jessica's disappearance sent shockwaves through the small and modest community, which was home to 13,000 residents. The incident prompted parents to become more vigilant, closely monitoring their children's whereabouts and actively seeking potential suspects within their community. 2 days later, on October 7th, Jessica's backpack was discovered in Superior, 6 miles away from her home. The bag contained various items belonging to Jessica, including her glasses, boots, clothes soaked in urine, and a water bottle labeled "Life is Good." The individual who found the backpack noticed Jessica Ridgway's name on the bottle and decided to post about the missing bag online, hoping to reunite the items with their owner. However, they were unaware that Jessica was missing and the connection to the ongoing Amber Alert. Fortunately, someone online made the connection and promptly alerted the police. The police swiftly took action, recovering the bag and conducting DNA and fingerprint tests. The DNA from the backpack matched that of a suspect involved in a previous assault and abduction attempt, although this suspect was not in the police database, leading to an ongoing search. The police collected numerous DNA samples from various communities for cross-checking, a meticulous and time-consuming process. While the discovery of the backpack hinted that Jessica might still be with her kidnapper, it raised concerns as she required her glasses for vision. The search efforts shifted towards Superior, where her backpack was found, in the hopes of obtaining a lead on Jessica's whereabouts. On October 10th, officers focused their attention on Arvada, which was approximately 9 miles from Jessica's home. It was there that partial human remains were discovered in an abandoned mine shack in Patridge Park by a member of the search party. The area was thoroughly examined by the police in search of additional evidence. The scene was truly horrifying, as officers came across a child-sized torso without limbs or a head. DNA testing confirmed the identity of the remains as Jessica's, devastating her family. The medical examiner noted disturbing details, such as the body being cleaned, organs removed, and a foreign object found inside. Near the crime scene, detectives also discovered a small wooden cross necklace. The search for Jessica Ridgway now transitioned from a rescue mission to a murder investigation. During this time, suspicions lingered around Jessica's mother, Sarah, as she was the last person to have seen Jessica alive. Even Jessica's father, Brian, expressed his concerns when questioned about Sarah's potential involvement. In response to these suspicions, Sarah released a public statement that lasted for 38 minutes. During this statement, she emphasized her complete cooperation with the police investigation and aimed to dispel any doubts regarding her involvement in Jessica's disappearance. With no clear leads and after ruling out Jessica's immediate family as suspects, the authorities found themselves grappling with the fear that the child killer resided within their close-knit community. Nearly 2 weeks after Jessica's disappearance, a breakthrough occurred when a woman contacted the police tip line. She recognized the cross necklace from media coverage of the murder and stated that it closely resembled one owned by her neighbor, 17-year-old Austin Sigg. Austin Reed Sigg was born on January 17, 1995, in Westminster, Colorado. His parents, Mindy and Robert, separated when Austin was just a few years old. Following the separation, Austin lived with his mother, while his father, Robert, resided in a nearby mansion after remarrying. During his upbringing, Austin faced academic struggles, particularly in reading and writing. Teachers noticed his difficulty concentrating in school, which prompted suggestions for an evaluation to determine if he had a potential learning disability. Pediatricians also suggested that he may have attention deficit disorder. Austin attended Maranatha Christian Center and Witt Elementary School during his early education. Despite his academic challenges, he maintained a social life described by classmates as both intelligent and slightly peculiar. Austin participated in the Jeffco concert choir and had interests in World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, as well as a small collection of decorative swords and knives. However, what truly set him apart was his open fascination with death, which made him appear peculiar and intriguing to some. In 2008, Austin's mother, Mindy, discovered child pornography on his computer, marking the beginning of a troubled relationship with graphic and violent content. As a result, Austin was taken to a faith-based center for counseling from 2008 to 2009. Unfortunately, this intervention did not lead to any significant improvement. After the initial counseling, his problems actually worsened over time. Surprisingly, he never sought help again. The counselors had advised his father to monitor what Austin was watching on TV and doing on the computer, but unfortunately, there was little follow-through in actually tracking the content he consumed. Austin's father, Robert, had a troubling history of criminal activities, including burglary, fraud, domestic violence, and driving under the influence. However, there were no known charges related to child abuse. Nevertheless, there were restraining orders against him from his ex-wife due to his problematic relationships. Despite the early conflicts between his parents, the rest of Austin's home life appeared to be calm and nurturing. He shared a room with his younger brother, and his side of the space was adorned with Japanese decorations, katanas, a kimono, and an Abbey Road Beatles poster. Despite his diverse interests, Austin seemed to maintain a normal social life, even having a girlfriend whom he met at a Christian teen gathering called the Warehouse 180. Their relationship lasted from middle school through high school without any concerning signs. According to his mother, he spent an average of 3 nights a week at home. However, where he stayed on the other nights remained a mystery. Austin's interest expanded to crime scene forensics and mortuary science. His fascination with death became a significant driving force and earned him recognition in a high school forensics competition. Austin displayed exceptional talent in crime scene investigation, securing his second-place award. He pursued his passion at Warren Tech, where he received accolades for his crime scene investigation skills. Astonishingly, his dedication to morbid subjects extended to Arapahoe Community College, where he took classes that allegedly taught him how to commit murder and evade capture. In May 2012, at the age of 17, Austin made his first attempt at a serious crime. He tried to incapacitate a 22-year-old female jogger at a park in Westminster near Kettner Lake using homemade chloroform. Fortunately, she fought back and successfully escaped his attack. The jogger promptly reported the incident to the police, providing a detailed description of her assailant as a white male aged between 20 and 25, approximately 5'7" tall, with an average build and brown hair. In order to gather evidence, a DNA sample was collected from the jogger's shirt and entered into the FBI CODIS database, which serves as a repository for DNA profiles. Following this failed assault, Austin embarked on a family vacation to the U.S. Virgin Islands, where there is no indication that he committed any crimes. Interestingly, there were no observable abnormal behaviors exhibited by Austin subsequent to the attack. In his distorted mindset, Austin concluded that he needed a smaller and more vulnerable victim. The neighbor who alerted the police about Austin also expressed concerns about his behavior. Acting on this information, the police brought Austin in for questioning and obtained a DNA sample before releasing him. Amidst this chaotic situation, Mindy Sigg found herself faced with an incredibly difficult decision. She harbored suspicions that her son, Austin, may be somehow connected to Jessica's disappearance. The Sigg family resided near the Ridgway home, and Austin had previously attended the same elementary school as Jessica. A few days later, on October 23, 2012, Mindy Sigg made an urgent call to the police, requesting their immediate presence. Clearly distressed and struggling to maintain her composure, she conveyed, "My son wants to confess to the murder of Jessica Ridgway." Overwhelmed with emotions, Mindy was having difficulty breathing. She then handed the phone to Austin, who chillingly admitted, "I am responsible for the murder of Jessica Ridgway. I possess undeniable evidence, leaving no room for doubt. I am surrendering completely, without any resistance." The police swiftly responded to the call, rushing to the residence and apprehending Austin. During the subsequent interview, Austin confessed to the murder of Jessica but denied any involvement in the assault. He claimed that he had gone hunting on that fateful day and had no prior knowledge or acquaintance with Jessica. However, he was well acquainted with the area as he had attended Witt Elementary School himself during his childhood. By deliberately selecting this location, it is likely that he was aware of secluded areas away from potential witnesses. On that fateful day, Austin swiftly seized Jessica while she was walking on the sidewalk, forcefully pulling her into his vehicle and driving away. He admitted that he had planned to murder her from the beginning, but assured her that she would be safe and reunited with her mother as long as she remained calm. Austin restrained her hands and feet using plastic ties, driving around for approximately 30 minutes before reaching his mother's house. In the garage, he subjected Jessica to horrifying torment, cutting off pieces of her hair while watching television. Jessica was so terrified that she involuntarily urinated. Subsequently, he forced her to change into his clothes due to her soaked attire. The details of Jessica's murder are extremely distressing. Austin initially attempted to strangle her with zip ties, but when unsuccessful, resorted to manual strangulation. Realizing that she was still alive, he drowned her in a bathtub filled with scalding water. The brutality continued as he dismembered her body in the bathroom, utilizing an electric saw, utility knife, and razor blades. Austin meticulously labeled certain body parts and placed them in bags, disposing of her remains in a small pool shed located in his backyard. The following day, he drove around in his Jeep to dispose of Jessica's belongings, strategically placing her backpack in Superior to mislead the police, and discarding her jacket in a random trash can. Fearing detection by cadaver search dogs, Austin felt compelled to dispose of Jessica's torso separately. In a disturbing twist, he indulged in a fantasy by impersonating a medical examiner, removing her organs in his home and washing the body to eliminate any evidence. He claimed to have flushed the organs down the toilet. A search of the house uncovered the remaining body parts and cut hair from Jessica in the crawl space, which Austin had previously described to the police dispatcher. Austin acknowledged placing a small hand-carved wooden cross pendant on Jessica's body. However, during the autopsy, it was discovered that the cross was found inside her body, which was one of Austin's practices. Austin confessed to etching 3 designs on the cross before inserting it inside her. The police, in their search for public assistance, initially released a photo of the wooden cross without revealing its significance. Austin confirmed these details to the authorities. The wooden cross, measuring 1 inch, was discovered in Jessica's vaginal cavity, a deeply disturbing choice that violated her innocence and resulted in part of her body being discarded in a trash bag. When questioned about his previous attempt to assault a female jogger, Austin admitted that he would have done the same to her as he did to Jessica. His plan involved disposing of the jogger's body in the sulfur pits located in the Colorado mountains. Austin confessed that he had harbored a long-standing sexual fantasy, one that had intensified over time. He admitted to going out before Jessica's abduction and murder to search for young girls, but he never acted on his urges during those instances. Austin confessed to all the charges, resulting in a total of 17 counts, with 11 specifically related to the offenses against Jessica and the earlier attack on the female jogger. Due to his age, he was initially placed in a juvenile facility. However, Austin, who was a minor when he committed these crimes, was later charged as an adult and transferred to an adult prison in Jefferson County. Considering his age, he spent the first 52 days in jail in a specialized housing unit. During this period, he was isolated from the general prison population and accompanied by a deputy for security purposes. Austin faced a total of 19 charges, including first-degree murder after deliberation, 3 counts of felony murder, sexual assault on a child, second-degree kidnapping and robbery, as well as attempted murder, attempted kidnapping, and attempted sexual assault in relation to the park jogger. On December 10, 2012, the prosecution added counts 18 and 19 for sexual assault and an enhancement for a crime of violence. Surprisingly, Austin initially pleaded not guilty to the 15 charges. However, later in court, 2 of the original 17 charges were dropped as duplicative. It remains unclear whether this police strategy was intentional or part of a larger legal plan. Nevertheless, in October 2013, just before the trial began, Austin changed his plea to guilty. He made this decision to spare both his family and Jessica's family from the gruesome details of the crime. During the trial, psychologist Anna Salter testified during Austin's sentencing hearing. Although she did not formally examine Austin, she assessed him based on observed behaviors and details from the crime and confession tapes. Salter noted signs of a sadistic necrophilia with psychopathic traits, but concluded that he was not truly psychotic. She suggested that Austin only showed remorse when police were closing in, indicating that he may have been remorseful for getting caught rather than for his actions. Salter also highlighted Austin's mode of operation, which involved leaving home 50 minutes late to catch up with elementary school children heading to school. In court, Jessica Ridgway's family members wore purple, Jessica's favorite color, and shared photos of her growing up. Christine Ridgway, Jessica's grandmother, expressed a profound impact on the family, stating, "This monster took away from me the light of my life. It shattered the core of my family. I miss her with every breath." Christine Ridgway continued, mentioning the absence of hugs, kisses, and the feeling of Jessica's little toes digging into hers on the couch. Jessica's mom, Sarah Ridgway, chose not to give Austin the satisfaction of acknowledging the extent of the damage he had done to Jessica's family. Instead, she informed Austin that after leaving the courtroom, she would purposefully forget his name and focus solely on preserving Jessica's legacy. In the eyes of Jessica's family, she will forever be remembered as a 10-year-old. During the court proceedings, Chief Judge Stephen Munsinger read a letter written by Austin before his arrest. The letter expressed Austin's self-perception as a monster, acknowledging the evil nature of his actions. Throughout the trial, Austin maintained a stoic demeanor, only showing some emotion during the victim impact statement, which gave hope that he felt deep remorse for Jessica. The letter and Austin's behavior painted a chilling picture of his self-awareness as a perpetrator of heinous acts. Despite pleading guilty, the defense made every effort to secure the most lenient sentencing for Austin. They explored various mitigating circumstances in his life, including a troubled upbringing and medical conditions that could potentially reduce his culpability. However, these factors did not fully explain the meticulous planning and execution of the crime. The defense argued that Austin's actions were driven by desire rather than impulsivity, challenging the notion that his disorders entirely dictated his behavior. Despite the defense's efforts, Austin maintained his guilty plea, acknowledging the seriousness of his crimes. Due to a Supreme Court decision in 2005, the death penalty was deemed unconstitutional for individuals under 18, sparing Austin from capital punishment. On November 19, 2013, he was sentenced to life in prison with an additional 86 years. After completing a minimum of 40 years of his life sentence, the 86-year sentence would then begin. In 2014, Austin was transferred to a different prison outside of Colorado, and the specific location was not disclosed to the public. This transfer was made to ensure Austin's safety, and the details of his new prison were kept confidential. 1 year after Jessica's tragic death, a park was constructed near the site of her abduction and dedicated in her honor. It was named the Jessica Ridgway Memorial Park. The structures within the park were painted purple, representing Jessica's favorite color, and featured dragonflies to symbolize her free spirit. A memorial rock and bench were placed at the location where her remains were discovered, providing a serene space for reflection and remembrance. This thoughtful memorial stands as a lasting tribute to Jessica's memory, offering solace to those who visit and honoring the impact she had on the community. Jessica Ridgway's story serves as a powerful reminder of the ongoing need for conversations about child safety. It highlights the importance of educating children about stranger danger, safe routes to school, and seeking help in emergencies. As for whether justice was served for Jessica Ridgway and whether the sentence Austin received is agreeable, it is a matter of personal opinion.